Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on the channel. I hope you're all keeping safe and well. Now in today's video I thought I would focus my attention on this corner here of the layout, as it's the last area of baseboard which doesn't have any scenery on it. Obviously in the previous videos we've been working very hard over in the station area, which I've done a lot of work to. So I figured now I'll focus my attention on the countryside section of the layout, and I want to get in this video and also the next couple of videos we're going to get this area completely scenic. So we're going to build some hillsides, and then we're also going to sort out the original hills that were here and sort out the straight bit there and make that all look really nice. So that's the plan for the next few layout build videos. So this video we're going to be focusing on building a hillside which starts around where those bags of plaster cloth are and then sort of finishes around here. So that's the plan for today's video. There will be a couple of videos concerning this area, and then I'll do some other videos concerning the existing hills. So as I said, we're going to start off with the hills here. So let's get straight into this big project. Right, so just before we get into today's video, I would just like to ask, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and click on the little notifications bell and press all. That way you stay notified for future videos, as I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of September, as I have something very special coming up. So if you could do me a favour and please hit that subscribe button, it would be very much appreciated. Anyways, let's get into the subject of today's video. Right, so to build this hillside, what are we going to use? Now there's all different sorts of methods that you could use to build a hillside. None of them are bad, and I've used various different methods in the past. What we'll be using in today's video is actually insulation foam board. This stuff is 50mm in thickness, and I've actually got two of these here, as by putting two together it's actually the same height as my current hillside here, so it will all sort of flow nicely. As when you build hillsides on your model railways, you want to make it look as if the land was there before the railway. So if we were to look at it from a sort of real life perspective, that hill there, that would be, if I just pan the camera around actually, if you were to think about it, the hillside would sort of keep coming up sort of thing, and then when the railway was built they would have had to have carved through the hill and then just to lay the track, and then either a retaining wall or a rock face of some sorts would be on either side. So that's the sort of thing I want to go for. What we'll be putting on the sides is actually retaining walls. Now I'm unsure as to what type of material to use, whether I should use like a red brick or even like a stone. So if you have any ideas, then let me know in the comments, as that would be greatly appreciated. But that's for another video. So we're going to use this insulation foam board to build up our hillside. So we're going to start off by making a template, which we can then transfer onto the foam board, and we can cut that out and glue it down. Alright, so a little bit of work, and I've made a newspaper template. This is what I'll be transferring onto the foam. Now one thing I've done here is you'll notice that this doesn't curve to the same curvature as the track here. That's because in this corner here there's a signal. So when you think about it, trains on this line, they actually go this way. So as the train's going around the bend here, the driver and the fireman need to be able to see the signal and what aspect it's showing. So that's why this is like that. So we'll transfer this onto the foam, and then we'll get this foam cut out. Right, so as you saw from that little clip there, I've placed the template onto the foam here, and I've just tacked it down using some nails. And what I sort of realised here is I've actually bought 2 sheets of insulation board, as I wasn't sure how big the area actually was, but looking at this, I think I'll be able to get 2 pieces, as I need 2 pieces in height to match the existing hillside. So I'm thinking what's left here will be enough to make the second layer. So I'll trace the second layer on here, and then hopefully I should just be able to use this one board, and then I can have the other board for another project. So yeah, I'll get on with that. Right, so with the hills or the templates marked out on the foam here, I'm going to cut this out. Now with how sort of dense this product actually is, I'm thinking I might use a jigsaw to cut this out, as I think I might be here for a while if I was to use if I was to do it by hand with a large knife. So I'll see if a jigsaw works with this. I think it should. But yeah, so I'll cut this out, and then we can glue it on. Alright, so all the foam pieces are now cut out. Now unfortunately, as I was cutting them, I did break them, as you can see, but that's no big deal. It's just a simple case of putting them together, a bit of glue in there, absolutely fine. So next thing to do now is actually glue them down. So there's a few glues that you can use. You can use like a no more nails adhesive, or like a 2-part epoxy or something like that, or any sort of foam safe glue you can use. I'm actually using this stuff here. It's called Sikabond Tech Grip. This is a polyurethane adhesive, and I used this glue when I did the foam for this part here, and it works extremely well. Although a word of warning with this glue is if you get it on your hands or any part of your body, good luck getting it off, as it's very, very strong stuff. Not that it's happened to me, but I have heard of it happening. And also this stuff, it does expand whilst it dries, so make sure you you clamp it down, or put substantial weight on it whilst it's drying. That way it doesn't move. So that's what we use, and then make sure you spread it out. So put it down like that, and then with a spreader or a scraper, just spread it out evenly, and then you can put your foam down. So let's get on with that. Okay, so all the foam is now glued down using the polyurethane glue. So I've just put a bunch of heavy items on top. So I've got my toolbox there, got a bunch of rattle cans, got my PVA glue there, and just some smaller things there. I've also added some tape just to sort of keep it all in place. So with this, what we'll do is we'll let it dry overnight, and then I'll come back tomorrow morning and we can move on to the next stage. Alright, so it's the following day, and off camera I've done a little bit of work. So I've removed the weights and it dried very nicely. And what I've done is I've actually carved the hill out here that I want, and then what I've done is on the edges there, on the inside, with all the glue that had expanded, I chopped a lot of it off. As you can see, there's still some, but I chopped off the bits that were sticking out, because what we're going to do is we're going to put a card face on there, which our retaining wall will stick to. So that's what I've done there off camera. So now the next thing to do is we need to cover this with some plaster cloth and some plaster. So let me show you what I'm going to use for that. Alright, so to cover this hillside all the way around, as I said, I'm going to be using plaster cloth. Now the plaster cloth I'm using is from Woodland Scenics, and it's this one here. C1203 is the product code for this one, and I've got about a quarter, I'd say, left in this bag here, and then I've got two full bags there ready to go. So I've had this one for a few years now, and then these two I got from a good friend of mine who didn't have a use for them. So that's come in handy. So I'll probably end up putting around maybe 2 to 3 layers on top of this, and then I'll leave it to dry overnight. And then what I'm going to do is I'll come back in once plaster cloth is dry enough, and I'll put some like filler over the surface just to sort of smooth things out a bit. And the filler will also be good for covering up where the joins are, where the plaster cloth is. So that's the next step, so let's get on with that. Okay, so a little bit of preparation I've done off camera. I've got my plaster cloth strips all cut, got my container of water, got the scissors there and the excess plaster cloth there, just in case I need to cut any more out. I've also covered over the track and the ballast, just so I don't get plaster all over that. So we're now pretty much ready to add the plaster cloth, so let's get on with that. Okay, so I've covered this bit here with the plaster cloth, and it's going pretty well so far. I'm going to continue doing this off camera, as you saw how I do it all before. So I'll come back to you once this hill has been plaster clothed. Right, so all of the plaster cloth is now applied, and it's looking pretty good so far. So this is where you saw it, and then we finished, well, I finished doing it there in the video, and then I've now covered the rest of it. It's all looking pretty good so far. Now you'll also notice I've gone a little over the edge there. I haven't gone all the way down, as I'll be covering that over with a retaining wall, so you're not going to see the foam. But anyways, it's looking pretty good so far. So I'll leave this to dry overnight. Now drying time will vary depending on how many coats you've put on. I've put around 2 to 3 layers of plaster cloth. Some areas have 2, some areas have 3. So I'll leave this to dry overnight, and then come back tomorrow morning and we'll apply the filler. So I'll see you when this is all dried. Okay, so it's now the following morning and it's mostly dry. It's still a little bit damp in a few areas, but it's not like super duper damp that I can't do anything. So as I mentioned before, I'm going to lay a thin layer of plaster over the top. That will just help hide all these joins and make this whole thing a lot more rigid. So got some filler down there, as you can probably see. It's not much in that one, so I've got another one over there ready to go. Got my spreader here, so let's get on with adding this filler. Okay, so that's all the sort of plaster and filler based work done. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave this to dry overnight, and then I'll come back to this tomorrow after work, which should leave this plenty of time to dry rock solid, and then once I come back after work we'll paint it and get it ready for scenery. Alright, so it is now the following day, and this is now well and truly dried. So it's now time to paint this hillside. So what I'm going to be using is the Woodland Scenics Earth Colours Liquid Pigments. This one is the Raw Umber. The number of this one is C1221. So I've got this bottle which has about sort of half in it, and I've got a brand new bottle. So we use those, and we'll paint this hillside. Okay, so that is the hillside all painted. Now I ended up giving it just one coat, and the coat that I gave it was a very thick coat, as one thing I remembered was these Woodland Scenics Earth Colours paints. They are they're very thin, so there's not much pigment in these. So if you do want to build up a good sort of level of colour like this, then you do have to apply a very thick coat, or alternatively you do two coats or multiple coats. So I just decided to do one thick coat, that way the painting's done. There will be some there will be some bits that are darker than others, that's just how it is, but it's all going to get covered over with scenery anyways. So I'll let this dry up overnight, and then we'll check it out and how it looks tomorrow. Alright, so it's now the following day, and the paint is now obviously nice and dry, and overall very happy with how it turned out. Now I put a train there just to sort of see how the scene is going to look, and I reckon it's going to look pretty good. Obviously it's still pretty bare in terms of scenery, there's no grass or anything like that, but it's coming along pretty nicely. So where to next? So from here what we're going to do is we're going to do our retaining wall, and then once our retaining wall's on, we'll then do our grass and our trees and bushes and fencing and all that kind of stuff. But I won't be doing that in this video, that will probably be a future video, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, just before I go, there are a few mentions that I do want to bring up. So in terms of future videos coming out for the rest of the month, on the 14th and 15th of September, Steam Rail Victoria will be operating their Warragul to Longwarry shuttles with R761 and V-Lines A66. I'll be chasing that tour, so that will be the next video that comes out after this one. And then on Sunday the 22nd of September, the Australian Model Railway Association Victoria branch, that's the club that I'm a part of, we'll be having our annual open day. It starts at 10 AM in the morning and finishes at 4 PM in the afternoon, so that's Sunday the 22nd. I will of course be there, and there will be a video on that. And towards the end of this month actually marks a milestone for me, as it marks officially 10 years since I got into model railways, and it's going to be a special video on that, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, that's all the videos that will be coming out for the rest of this month, and yeah, anyways, let's head to the outro. Alright, so that will be the end of today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Of course, leave your feedback in the comment section below. And also, one more thing I almost forgot to mention, in regards to the retaining wall that's going to go here. I was having a little bit of a think about that, and I'm thinking of doing a concrete retaining wall, as it's something I've not done before. But of course, if you guys have any other ideas and suggestions on a retaining wall, then of course, please do drop in comments below. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Of course, leave your feedback and comments in below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. If you haven't already, please subscribe, as that would be very much appreciated. Anyways, I'll see you all in my next video. Take care, stay safe, and of course, have a nice day. Bye everyone.